Hello, everybody. Why did I just sing that? I have no idea. No clue. Maybe because Atticus was singing right before the show. You can hear that if you join our Patreon.
Plugs.
I'm amazing at this, aren't I? Should do
You
this
are.
for a job. Oh wait, I am, and nobody's paid me.
Oh.
So if somebody can fix that,
correct.
plugs. I'm a horrible
All the
person,
things.
but all horrible people have names, and my name is Trevor, and I am one of the hosts of this show. The other host is
Myself, Atticus.
Wow, he actually said his name. Yep, you know him or you hate him.
Yep.
I was going to say you love him or you hate him, but
You know him or you hate him.
Yep, pretty much. So now that I have, for a week, developed my theory about how Jesus is Darth Vader, I'm not going to share it because I haven't actually thought about it. But this week, we're getting into another film scored by John Williams, but this time it wasn't George Lucas at the helm, it was Richard Donner. That's his name, right? Yes.
Wow.
He directed it. Now I got to double check the facts. Yeah. Okay. So, Atticus.
Yes.
One, hit him with the facts.
I can hit him with the facts.
Hit him with the facts.
Hit him with the facts. All right, people. Let's see. It was released in 1978.
Boom.
What?
I said boom.
Oh, the top billed cast is Christopher Reeve as Superman.
Boom.
Clark Kent. Margot Kidder. Lois
Yeah,
Lane.
is that Margot, like Margot Robbie, or Margot, like nobody in the world?
I mean, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Gene Hackman as Lex Luthor. Marlon Brando as Jor-El. He did an amazing job, by the way. I loved him.
You did? Okay.
Ned Beatty as Otis.
Beatty.
Jackie Cooper as Perry White.
Got it. Glenn Ford. Yeah. Other notable ones, I would say Glenn Ford as Pa Kent.
Yeah, and
Terrence Stamp, General Zod.
Phyllis Thaxter as Ma Kent.
Yeah. Okay, in the 1950s, Superman was the first name of that actress, Phyllis, as well?
I think so. Interesting. I don't know. Maybe that was just a common name back then. Probably was.
Yeah.
Like Trevor said, it's directed by Richard Donner. It was nominated for 3 Oscars. Let's take a look at this. Oscar nominee for Best Sound, Oscar nominee for Best Film Editing, and Oscar nominee for Best Music / Original Score.
Nice. John Williams always picks up those. I think he's been nominated for 47 Oscars, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
And I did not know that. And I'm pretty sure it's 47 Oscars for Original Score and 5 for Original Song, which puts him at 52, which is the most of any person for nominations.
Let's see. Can't go to the plot yet. Hey, it was released 4 days before my birthday.
Nice.
December 15th.
Your birthday's the 19th?
Wait, what?
You said your birthday's the 19th then?
3 days before.
18th.
Oh, wait, 3 days after, sorry.
Oh, okay.
I mean, 4 days after. Oh, gosh.
Math. So it's the 11th.
Yep.
Math. Okay.
Yep.
Do you have budget and box office there?
I think so.
Well, I have it right here.
$5 million is budget.
Yeah.
And then opening weekend, $7 million.
Its total gross was $300.5 million.
Dang.
So if you can talk a little bit more, I'm going to do some inflation calculation.
Cool. Let's see. I can go through a few goofs.
Okay.
Okay, so here's one. This is one that I found by myself. So when there's a scene where Superman or Clark Kent takes Lois Lane on a fly around of Metropolis, and while he's doing that, he isn't holding on to her. She's just holding on to his arm, and she's so straight it looks like she's flying as well. And I was like, "What the? This does not make sense."
Okay. So, Jared, let me go ahead and just share the budget today would be, rather than 50 million, 196 million.
Dang.
Which is, so, like, a lot. You'll hear, like, with a lot of Star Wars and Marvel movies now, it's generally around, like, 220 or so. 250. I know Endgame was, like, 350.
Mhm.
So, okay. Keep on talking about some
Alright.
goofs while I figure out what the box office would be today.
Let's see here.
Never mind, I got it right now. Translated to today, it would make 1.2 billion.
Wow.
So now I'm going to see worldwide box office list and see where it would place.
That's crazy, but I don't remember asking.
Wow.
Absolutely Shrek. Okay, a continuity flaw at the train station. The New Haven engine that masks Otis' entrance to Luther's lair and the one that hits the Detective Harry are the same unit. Number board 5048.
Wow.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Let me read one more, and then we go back to Trevor, because
yeah, I'm figuring stuff out.
What?
Yeah, I'm figuring stuff out.
When Superman is spinning the world backward, the two shots are reversed relative to Superman's direction of flying. That makes just a little bit sense.
I have some gripes to talk about with this time travel scene. Anyways, I was just gonna say here. So if it was released today and was put on, because there's like the adjusted for inflation chart, but I'm saying like if this was released today and compared to other movies, you know, it would be placed. Yeah. It made, what did we say, 1.2 billion? Yeah, 1,180,000. So that made just about it would have placed it at the number 18 spot, right around Frozen, Beauty and the Beast, Incredibles, Iron Man 3, Civil War, Minions, and then The Fate of the Furious. So that's where it would have been. So it would have been 18 all time if it was released right now and made the same amount of money.
Dang.
So, yeah.
That's crazy to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Anything else? Or should we get into the plot? Do our plot song?
There's like 81 goofs, so...
Yeah, we don't need to go through all of them.
I can go through all of them?
No, please don't. The people don't want to be here for 5 hours.
Shoot.
You want to get into the plot?
Plot time.
Song.
Plot time. How does the rest go?
It's plot time. It's plot time. It's plot time. I can't hit high notes.
It's plot time. It's plot time.
Plot time.
Plot time. Trevor, hit him with the plot.
Plot.
Hit him with the plot.
Oh yeah. I'm like a Lil Spice from the Dr. Pepper commercials, or whatever his name is. Lil Sweet. That's his name is.
Lil Sweet, yeah.
I'm Lil Sweet with the Dr. Pepper. Okay, so here we go. So we start out on Krypton, right? Mm-hmm. And it's so sci-fi-y at the beginning.
It's so cool. I love the first part. It's my favorite scene.
Really?
Yes.
Like I said, I feel like we're going to disagree a lot on this movie.
Maybe.
But I also feel like I liked it more than you. So...
Okay, buddy.
But anyways, so at the beginning of this movie, it felt very sci-fi and also kind of reminded me of the next movie that we're going to watch. Hints, hints, hints.
Whoa.
But anyways, so when it starts out going through the credits, did that effect remind you a lot of the Thor Ragnarok trailer text effect?
Yes. It also scared me so badly because I turned the volume up because I couldn't hear the kid in the opening, scene while he was like flipping through the comic, and I turned it all the way up, and then it was like, I was like, what the?
Like the THX thing, like that.
Rat Pack.
Yeah. Yeah, that really reminded me of the Thor Ragnarok thing. Also, so I watched this movie with Claire. She's been watching all these movies with me. If you don't know who Claire is, she is my sister.
Clara.
So she's been watching all these movies with me, and then when it opens up, and then it's the kid flipping through the comic book and with the curtains on the side. She's like, the whole movie better not have the curtains on the side.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't know. The opening was fine. Like as far as this, I really thought the credit effect was cool though. It really reminded me of the Thor Ragnarok effect.
Yeah.
On what they did.
Now that you say that, I can see it.
On what they did for the trailer, and then especially what their text effect on the Blu-ray release, it looks almost exactly the same. Because yeah, so because yes,
because trigonometry.
Because simple trigonometry for the win. Okay, I should probably carry on.
Probably.
So then, anyways, we have General Zod and then 2 other people who we don't care about, and they're all being judged in these really cool ring things. I love these ring things. Mm-hmm. The ring, like where it's spinning around, and then
Yeah.
Those things are so cool.
Don't they do that in Man of Steel?
I don't know.
Or like a variation of it.
It reminded me. There's this one Mario Kart Wii custom track called DKR Star City, and there's like giant things that you have to drive through like that. Anyways, I love those things. I'm also a massive like Mario Kart Wii nerd, so I'd like know all the stats for all the characters and vehicles and memorize all the track
Seriously?
layouts. Yeah.
Serious? Wow. Oh my.
I can show you what's the best possible combination for each track and each character.
Here's the thing. Off topic, but the best combination is Yoshi on that one motorcycle.
Mach Bike is the best motorcycle.
Yes, that one.
So here's the thing. If you're going to use Mach Bike, you should probably use Daisy because she has the best turning ability.
Interesting.
Daisy has the highest turning stat. Now, if you want to go fast, use Funky Kong on Flame Runner.
The things Trevor studies.
So there's 3 different classes: lightweight, middleweight, or heavyweight. I apologize for you listeners, but you need to know this information. Lightweight, heavyweight, and then middleweight, right? So for lightweights, you always want to go bullet bike. Okay?
Yeah.
Middleweights, you always want to go Mach Bike. Heavyweights, you always want to go Flame Runner.
Dang.
And the 3 best possible combinations are Funky Kong and Flame Runner, which gives you speed with some weight. Then Daisy and Mach Bike, which is going to give you a great turning ability. You can make pretty much any turn. And then Baby Daisy on the bullet bike is really fast and it has pretty decent turning. Now you can also use the spear with heavyweights, and it is the fastest vehicle in the game, but it doesn't turn. So back to what you came here for.
Yeah.
So their names are General Zod, Ursa, and Non. That'll be some good trivia. Or like, what are the name one of the other 2 people who's with Zod?
Technically, they don't say the names.
But you see it in the credits.
General Zod. What?
They say their names in the credits.
Oh, true.
So that's interesting with NFTL. So NFTL is a trivia league we do. You can go check that out. Atticus, would you count that as being fair because it is in the credits? So you can still... So technically, if you watch through the movie, you'd still be able to pick up that information.
I don't think I would count it. I don't think that would be fair because we've had this run-in the past where, like, the names haven't been said in the movie, but, like, they're a character, and we've, like, some people have gotten it wrong and challenged it.
Yeah.
I remember.
But
so I don't know.
Well, we should probably start looking if is the character's name given in the credits, because technically you can still pick up that information by watching the movie, by just watching the movie.
Yeah, it may have been. I only heard Zod, and it was pretty quiet. So
yeah. Anyways, so Jor-El is deciding, and it's a unanimous decision. They try and convince Jor-El to be like, no, but he doesn't listen.
Does not listen.
Jor-El, just say like, no. Come on,
like,
man.
Nah, B.
Peer pressure.
Exactly.
But anyway, so you know more about DC, and I know more about Marvel as far as superhero stuff.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Is there any kind of backstory with Zod and Jor-El?
You know what? Like, I'm more into like Batman and the whole Gotham thing. I rarely venture into Metropolis, so
got it.
I don't have that much information except that I know he is one of the main bad guys or villains, and yeah, I think he has a vendetta against Clark Kent's dad. That's something.
Well, because he was. It seemed like he was wanting him to join him.
Yes.
So
he didn't. So
yeah. So I'm sure Zod comes back. I think Zod is in Superman. Is the villain of Superman 2.
Yes.
Which we will be watching soon on this show.
Oh crap.
So, what? What do you got against Superman 2?
I know that they deteriorate in quality.
Yeah.
So, I'm not super excited.
Okay. I mean, I'm definitely not the movie I'm least looking forward to watch is Batman and Robin.
I'm kind of excited for it just because I've never seen it.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
but then anyways, Jor-El goes like, nope, we ain't doing it. Right? And then it's a unanimous decision. And then this scene. There's a massive square that comes in and then like grabs them. That's a 2D square.
This scene was so cool, actually.
And then grabs them, and then they're like, oh no, we're stuck in the square. Like, I didn't get it. I hated this scene.
Let me out.
So why did you like this?
Only because it was kind of cool how it like grabbed them and then like took them off up into space.
I don't know. Just use the Phantom Zone projector from the Lego Batman movie. I like that thing better than you know using using paper like a paper square to grab them, a giant paper square.
I mean, you're entitled to your wrong opinion, but
so that's how it is. Okay, Atticus.
I should use that in our debate. I'm kidding. I'm just joking.
We don't know you weren't. So, anyways, Jor-El, he's saying like, this thing's gonna blow. And them scientists are like, nah, you wrong. And Jor-El's like, oh no, I'm not. This thing's gonna blow. Right? So then he goes to his wife, which I can't remember her name.
Zor-El? No.
Jor-El's married to Zorro.
No, I said Zor-El.
Oh, I thought you said Zorro, like the Antonio Banderas movie.
No.
Zorro fathered Superman.
Wait, hold on. Got you. Hold on. Is it Bondo?
There's a fanfic forming in my mind. Von Da.
That's what. Yeah. Von Ah. I said Vonda. Oh well.
I still think Zorro and Zor-El had a child together, and that was Clark Kent or Kal-El, I guess.
Kal-El.
What would your Krypton name be? I think mine would be Trev or because it's also kind of like the same thing. Like Kryptonians do the same thing as like the Kree from Marvel. They split their names up. You know?
Yeah.
So I think you'd be Atticus or Atticus.
Yeah.
And I would be Trev or.
That'd be cool.
So, but yeah. So then, anyways. The scientists still believe him, and Jor-El's like, no, this thing's going to blow up. I don't know where Jor-El's getting this information, but the important thing is that he knows it, right?
That kind of, I was like, how do you know this?
Like,
you need to cite your sources.
I got this from CNN, and, but, what would CNN be on Krypton? No clue. What would be the Fox News equivalent?
Wait a minute.
So, but anyways, he goes back to Vonda, his wife. He's like, you know what? We got to ship this baby off this planet, right? And she's like, no, but I don't want to. And he's like, do you want your baby to live? Yes. Then he's leaving, right?
Oh,
so then I make these characters sound like so much cooler than they are.
Yeah.
So then anyways,
which, I mean,
they put him in this little like crystal star thing. And like throw him off the planet. Like I don't
throw him off the planet.
How'd they get him out of gravity? Like, do they just have a rocket launcher laying around to launch baby carriages up into the sky?
I mean, it's another planet, so you never know.
Yeah, I don't know. Also, this would have to travel because we're in the Milky Way galaxy. This clearly wasn't the Milky Way galaxy, so it would have had to have traveled to another galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and where these scientists clearly aren't able to figure out what, like, this normal dude could. How are these scientists figuring out how to make rocket launchers that can launch things, including baby carriages,
including baby
crystal star things, into other galaxies? Also, how did he manage to line it up perfectly to land on Earth?
Mm-hmm.
Questions that need to be answered.
It did take 3 years to get there, though.
That is true. How'd that baby, like... Whoa. Was there food in there?
No. Wait. Did it have a IV in its arm or something?
I don't know. But if this thing didn't have food or water, like, he clearly... I mean, he's Superman, but, like...
And didn't Jor-El, like, didn't he... When he was talking to Clark in the Fortress of Solitude, didn't he go, like, when you landed on Earth, I would have been dead for thousands of years or something, right?
Well, because... So you know how, like... That actually kind of made sense, because, like, you know how, like, things that could have... Like, planets or stars that would have blown up, like, millions of years ago, we're just seeing now because it takes that long for light to travel.
Yeah.
And he said for thousands of your years.
Oh, okay.
So that kind of made more sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But, yeah. So anyways, they somehow managed to launch this crystal star baby carriage into the sky. And then the thing explodes.
Carriage.
Which the thing exploding looked kind of cool. What were your thoughts?
I feel like it was actually a really cool scene.
Yeah.
Even though people were dying.
People dying at school.
I especially loved the Kryptonians' like outfits. They were so cool.
Yeah.
They were glowed or glue.
Glue in the dark. No, that isn't right. They
glowed in the dark.
I still don't think that's right, but whatever. Yeah.
Let me go get my mom. She's an English major. I'm kidding. But yeah.
I think my mom was an English major too.
Nice.
I don't know what she majored in or minored in. Something to do with words. But then anyways, so Krypton, Krypton, his son. No, the Krypton sun explodes and it, destroys everything. And then also they talk about, before they launch him off in this star thing, baby carrots, talk about how, like, his molecular structure will give him strength and other powers on Earth. Which I still don't get.
Yes. I mean,
but whatever.
This movie doesn't make sense, but... Yeah.
Anyways, it falls and lands in Smallville, Kansas, which, first of all, who names their city Smallville? But...
Because it's small, and... Yeah.
How'd they know it was going to stay small? Like, what if they named New York City Smallville? It's like, it gets up to millions of people, and they're just like, well, screwed up.
If there's a small... Screwed up? Wait, what?
Screwed up.
I thought you said screwed up. I was like, what?
Just like you can glowed.
If there's a Smallville, is there a Bigville somewhere?
That's where Batman's from. But they decided to change the name to Gotham. But Gotham was originally called Bigville.
Yep, basically.
There's a great there's a great, like, Other Worlds comic where Superman he lands in Russia and they rate him as, like, this, like, like, communist, like, Soviet Russia, like,
yes,
dude. I think it's called Red Krypton. They just made an animated movie on it.
Isn't that on... I was going to say Netflix, but I don't think it's on Netflix.
I think it's only on DC Universe right now. But anyways...
Interesting.
He's, like, 3 years old, and then Jonathan and Martha Kent... Martha, why did you say that name?
Martha. Where's Rachel?
But then anyways, they're like, I don't think we should keep him. And they're like, no, we should just say that we had him, right? And then he, like, lifts the truck.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh crap, like he's super baby. What were you gonna say?
Boss baby back in business.
He's boss baby. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say that if I like don't talk for a few minutes, it's because I need to go find a charger, but I'm gonna go find it now. So you talk.
No, we can take a break. We're almost to the time where we can take a break. You just want to take a break?
Okay.
All right. We'll just take a break.
Sure.
You guys will hear an ad, and then we'll be back, and nothing will have happened. So we'll see you guys in one moment. Okay, guys. Trevor here from Teen Stock Movies. I'm interrupting the show, okay? But it's important because I got to tell you about Anchor. So if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. It's how I do it, and I like easy. First of all, it's free. I also like free. There's creation tools that will allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. And Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and a whole ton of other ones. Which is also good, because it's easy. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. That's why I'm recording this ad, because I like money, and I hope you do too. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So go ahead and download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today. Okay, let's go back to the show. You're probably done hearing from me. Okay, bye. Okay, guys, we are back now after this break. Atticus, you ready to get back into the plot?
Plot time.
Plot time. Okay, so anyways, he lifts the truck, and they're like, wow. So then they take him back to the farm, and then they're like, you know what? You're gonna be our kid now. And they're like, and little Clark Kent's like, woo, I'm a kid, right? And then anyways, they just...
Okay, one thing. So after they take Clark back to their home, it quickly cuts to him being like a senior in high school, and I'm like,
he grew up real fast.
Was very great.
Yeah,
I didn't know what was going on until the name Clark was mentioned.
I thought that there was another character.
Yeah, me too.
But anyways, did you? So they named him Clark. Do you know what they named him after? Do you remember?
No, I don't.
It was Martha's maiden name.
Oh.
And
wait,
anyways,
her name was Clark?
Yeah, so her name was Martha Clark before Martha Kent.
Oh, that's actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, anyways, Jonathan is like, you must have been given the superhuman powers on Earth for, in quotes, a reason.
A reason?
A reason.
Sound not name.
We sound like a Cookie Monster. I have been given cookies for a reason. You have been given this power for a reason. Or like a Muppet. I'm almost done watching. I've been watching that Muppet Show on and off, the ABC one.
Oh my gosh, I've watched all of this. I've watched all of it.
Yeah,
it's actually really funny.
I have a couple episodes left.
Yes.
Okay. Anyways, now we cut up to 18. And then, Clark's running around and he's racing the train and he's having a good time and he's like hopping in cars with girls and he's like, whoa, I'm cool. Right?
Whoa there, buddy.
And then the Jonathan dies because his heart dies.
Fails. It fails.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact that that's not what happens when your heart fails.
You don't just collapse.
You don't just... I mean, you start not hyperventilating, but you breathe kind of fast, and you start. It's a long process. I guess it could be different for other people, depending on their heart. But just like I've seen an actual heart attack in person.
I'm so sorry for that. Okay.
Pretty much.
I couldn't tell even when I was saying it whether I was being sarcastic or actually being serious.
Me too, yeah.
I couldn't even tell. Is that bad?
No.
That I couldn't tell? Like...
I think so. I think, yeah. I don't know.
Like, I should probably be able to tell what I'm meaning when I say stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty useful.
But I don't, so, Anyways, Jonathan dies of a heart attack, and then Clark like starts hearing stuff in his ears, and he's like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! I got to go find some stuff." And then he goes and discovers a glowing green crystal and the remains of a spacecraft buried under the barn, which the scene is like almost perfectly replicated in Man of Steel.
Yeah, it's great.
Like a lot of the opening is super similar to Man of Steel, which I appreciate because I actually really like Man of Steel.
Yes.
Just right now, what's the better Superman movie in your opinion? Just pick one. No explanation. Just say Man of Steel or Superman the movie.
Man of Steel.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, anyways, he starts it compels him to travel to the Arctic for some reason. Like,
yeah, that didn't make sense either. He's I'm gonna go north.
To
the North Pole.
If I find a spacecraft buried underground in my barn, my first thought isn't, I'm gonna go hang out with some polar bears. Like, that isn't what comes to mind for me. My first thought is
what is it?
Talking to my mom and going, okay, explain.
Explain, woman.
Explain, woman, or I'll slap you. No, just kidding.
Oh my god.
Speaking of, there is some child abuse later in this movie.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that later. Is it bad that I rewound and watched the child abuse scene like 5 times?
Wait, seriously?
Yeah.
Oh my
Claire and I were just dying laughing on the couch. Anyways, we'll get there when we get there.
That's amazing.
So he goes north for some reason. Also, how does he get to the North Pole? Like, I don't think he's figured out that he can fly yet.
Well, I bet he ran.
Oh yeah, I bet he ran super fast. That makes sense.
Yeah. He can go zoom fast, like Zoom, the bad guy from Flash.
Oh, I thought you meant like the video call thing.
No. Nope.
That is a true villain.
Oh yeah.
I hate Zoom. Anyways, he builds his Fortress of Solitude. Like, he throws his thing and then it just grows somehow. Like, now he has Elsa powers.
Yeah.
And then, anyways, it looks like architecture from Krypton. Kind of cool.
It's Elsa time.
And then there's a hologram where Jor-El explains everything to Clark. And I feel like it's interactive. Like, he must have recorded a whole ton of... like, he says, ask me a question. And he must have prepared for, like, every question possibly asked.
Speak your mind, boy.
But yeah, he's like, ask me a question, right? And Jor-El's whole speech, like, he explains everything. Clark takes it pretty well, and he's like, ask me a question. Like, what if Clark Kent asked, like, why is my mom's hair gray?
He could have asked any question, and he's like, who am I?
Yeah. Like, what if it was the same response? Like, why is my mom's hair gray? You are Kal-El of Krypton. Why is that seal over there staring at me? You are Kal-El of Krypton. Dad, I've been going through some changes recently. You are Kal-El of Krypton.
You are Kal-El.
That needs to be the meme of this week. Last week was Jesus, Darth Vader. This week is You are Kal-El of Krypton. Send us a voice message of what possible questions you think Clark could have asked that could have been responded with. You are Kal-El of Krypton.
You are Kal-El.
You are Kal-El. Anyways, he's Kal-El. So then,
wait, one thing. Okay, so you know how when Clark's parents or Kal-El's parents are like about to put him in the star thingy?
Yeah.
He's wrapped in like a cloth that looks like the colors for Wonder Woman. It has red, white, or red.
I thought it was a baby Superman suit.
Yeah, me too.
But
okay. And the thing is, he magically gets the Superman suit. Like, one scene, he's talking to his dad, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna take you on this trip that makes you."
So his mom is supposed to have made it.
Makes you feel like you're on acid, but then it's like, and then out of the blue, he has a Superman suit. I'm like, what the crap?
Son, I'm gonna put you in acid and give you tights.
You need to take these so you know how it feels to be a Kryptonian.
That's a true father. He feeds you acid and gives you tights and boots.
Basically.
And a cape. So then anyway, so he's 18 when he goes there, but then I didn't realize this. So he spends 12 years talking to his father. So Jor-El must have, like, spent a lot of time recording that. Yeah, it's 12 years that he spends up there.
I just thought he would talk to him and was just like, okay, I'm going to Metropolis.
No, Jor-El recorded 12 years worth of conversation with Clark.
Dang. How do you know this? I didn't.
I'm looking at the Wikipedia article.
Bruh.
You think I really took notes and remember all this?
Probably.
No.
Neither did I.
Wikipedia, man, that's the way to go. Wikipedia and IMDb. All I need. I literally have 4 tabs. Anchor, Skype, IMDb, Wikipedia. That's all I need in life, man. Okay. So then he's doing this thing, and then he gets super educated, and he's like, you know what? I know what I need to do. And I assume he was, like, training during that time, too, and whatever. So anyways, he leaves the fortress. He leaves the fortress, and he's wearing this blue and red suit of the House of L family crest, which is commonly known as the Superman symbol, right?
Yes.
So I have no clue how he made that. Anyways, he goes and becomes a reporter at the Daily Planet in Metropolis, and then Clark meets and develops a bit of a romantic attraction to his coworker, Lois Lane. So, also Brian Michael Bendis writing a great Lois Lane series right now. Anyways.
Cool.
So, you know, they're talking and doing their thing, and then she, like, gets mugged, you know, and then Superman pretends, I fainted, and then he catches a bullet, which is a really cool scene, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So then, anyways, also this movie, it's 2.5 hours. It didn't feel like 2.5 hours.
It felt more than that, actually.
I feel like it moved along pretty quickly, though.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't feel slow or long to me at all. How about you?
It felt a little long to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
It moved along actually pretty well for me. I was afraid that it would feel like super slow or super long, but it actually felt pretty good as far as pacing. Yep. So that was something that I was a pleasant surprise. So then anyways, they're doing their things, and then Lois Lane gets in a helicopter accident.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-oh.
Stinky.
So then she's going around, and she's like, ah! And the dude's like, oh, but deeper, you know. And then...
Wait. Did the pilot die?
No, I don't think so. I don't think he fell. You know what? We never see what happens to that pilot.
Yeah.
No, even if he couldn't have fallen because he was still in there when Lois fell, and then when the helicopter fell, Superman catches it.
Oh.
Because the helicopter gets like kind of caught on the edge, and everybody's just like, oh, like somehow all of a sudden all of New York City is on the street looking at this thing.
Yeah, it's like, where did these people come from?
They came from the streets of LA and signed up to be extras. So
wow.
I want to be an extra in a movie.
You could do that.
I should. But I also don't want to, like, go to LA.
Oh, interesting.
But then, anyways, so then that's Superman. Well, Clark Kent sees her, right? So she's, like, dangling there.
Yeah.
I thought that Lois Lane was just going to fall and die. But, because she was just hanging there for, like, 3 minutes.
He does die.
Like, spoilers. She was just hanging there for, like, 3 minutes, though.
Yeah.
And, like, Clark Kent was just kind of taking his time. I like the nod that he looked at the phone booth.
Yeah.
That was a cool moment. But anyways, Clark Kent, he's just, like, kind of walking around, and he's like, oh, I should probably be Superman. And then he goes and then tries to find a place to hide and then becomes Superman, right?
Yeah.
Like, honestly, couldn't he have just done it on the spot since he has super speed? Like, we see later, he's able to, like, super quickly go from, like, dive down and then, like, change from Clark Kent to Superman.
I didn't like that too much just because it's not, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
It's possible, though. So Clara didn't like that part either, but, like, it's Superman.
Yeah.
He has super speed. So anyway, anyways, he saves Lois, and she's like, "Oh!" It reminds me of Mary Jane in Spider-Man in the original 2002 Sam Raimi Spider-Man,
Wow.
and like when he
Yeah.
saves her, and then like swings her away. That kind of reminded me of that. So then, anyways, people are like, "Oh wow, Superman, wow," right? So then, anyways, all the other stuff, like he catches this jewels thief who is trying to climb a wall with suction cups. Like, dude, come on!
In Mission Impossible.
Like, toilet plungers aren't your best option, man. And then he's trying to get up the Solo building, and then so he captures robbers fleeing the police. And then one of my favorite parts of the whole movie, he rescues a girl's cat from the tree. So let me go through this. He flies over, gets this girl's cat. Frisky was the cat's name.
Yes.
And
what was the name of the cat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be like a 5-pointer.
Yeah.
He saves Frisky from the tree, gives it to this girl, and she's like, "Oh, thank you," right? So then little Janice, as we're going to call her, because she was never named. Right, she was never named. Am I correct in that assumption?
Yeah, she was like... Sorry, I was on mute.
Okay.
Yes, she was like...
We're going to call her Janice.
How about Phoebe?
Nope, Janice is her name.
Oh, okay. Sounds good.
Phoebe is her middle name.
Great.
Janice Phoebe, right? So Janice Phoebe, she's super happy because Superman just saved her cat, right?
Yeah.
So she takes little Frisky inside. She's like, Mommy, a flying man just saved Frisky. Then this mom, girl, I thought I told you not to tell lies.
Whoa.
And little Janice Phoebe, she got slapped across the world.
Oh, dang.
She got clapped, for lack of a better word.
She got clapped.
She got thunked. And because I'm an incredibly empathetic person, I rewound the scene and watched it like 6 or 7 times.
Oh my god.
It's so funny. She just got slapped. And if you're actually being abused, then that's a serious problem. But
yeah,
get help. Like, call someone and get them to help you out. But little Janice Phoebe, she just got clapped across the world.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and if that was for telling a lie, what happens when she doesn't get home for curfew later in her life?
Exactly.
Is her mom going to shoot her?
Dude, that's that. Dude.
Janice Phoebe ain't making it to 18. So he also saves the Air Force One, which I thought was kind of a stupid scene, but whatever. So then the Caped Wonder, as they're calling him, instant celebrity. He's like, wow, right? So then he visits Lois at her apartment and takes her on a flight. So do you want to talk about the scene? And it's for an article about Superman.
Oh, yeah.
And she names him Superman. And she actually names him Superman. So what do you think of this scene?
Buddy. Okay. So we need to break this down. She obviously has, a thing for Superman. And wait, we're talking about the scene where she's on the rooftop, right?
No, I'm talking about the scene where he takes her for a flight. In between the rooftops.
Oh, so...
Oh, there's also the pink underwear thing.
All right, that was funny. My mom laughed at that.
Can't see through lead. Did you watch this with your mom? Who else?
I watched it. I watched the first hour by myself, and then my mom and everybody else came home from doing grocery shopping. So.
Okay. Had they ever seen it before?
Yeah. Huh?
Had they ever seen it before?
My mom and dad grew up with it. Yeah, they loved it.
Okay.
They watched it a lot. But yeah, this whole flying scene, it was kind of bad because, I mean, compared to how people or superheroes fly in action movies today, the flying was atrocious.
I mean, it was early.
Horrible. It was It was horrible, but for that time, it was probably amazing. But yeah, it was kind of weird. Again, how she was holding on to just his arm, and like it looked like she was flying. And at one point, they were hanging on by fingertips, and she was like flying or whatever.
Yeah.
And she was staying completely stiff and straight.
Maybe she just has good core muscles.
I mean, that's true. She could have just been a CrossFit member.
Yeah. Did you like Can You Read My Mind?
What?
Did you like Can You Read My Mind?
Oh yeah, that was kind of weird and awkward.
But it felt kind of out of place. Here, I have the lyrics up. Can you read my mind? You know what it is that you do to me. Don't you know who you are? Just a friend from another star? Here I am like a kid at the school, holding hands with a god or a fool. Well, will you look at me, quivering, like a little girl shivering? You can see right through me. Can you read my mind? Can you picture the things I'm thinking of, wondering why you are, all the wonderful things you do?
Whoa.
It's actually not bad poetry.
That's some poetry right there. Yeah.
Anyways.
One more thing. So, you know how there was this one, like the one part where they're still flying and they go up above the clouds? There's a certain point in which, or height where, humans can't breathe. Like there's a lack of oxygen.
Like an Iron Man where he started to freeze.
Yeah. So how did Lois not die?
But here's the thing. They couldn't even get time travel down right, so whatever on this. I have a whole rant on the time travel later.
There was supposedly a pigeon that like flew in the face of Lois, which was kind of funny. But
that high, man, like do pigeons even have that strength? Like maybe the pigeon was a CrossFit member too, but like I don't know.
Yeah.
So then, anyways, this is where we meet Lex Luthor after this. Pretty late into the film, but we meet Lex Luthor, and he finds out about like these U.S. Army and U.S. Navy nuclear missile tests, right?
Yeah.
So he's there along with Otis, and then who was the girl that was with him? Eve.
I know.
Eve Teschmacher. Eve Teschmacher?
Yeah. Teschmacher. That's how he said it, but I don't know.
Yeah, Eve Teschmacher. So...
Miss Teschmacher?
Miss Teschmacher!
You did it better.
Well, thank you. So then anyways, he buys like hundreds of worthless desert land, and then reprograms one of the two missiles to detonate in the San Andreas Fault. So they go out to this thing, and then there's kind of a weird scene like where like they pretend like they do a remote control car, and then pretend like Eve Teschmacher, Miss Teschmacher, like crashed.
Miss
Teschmacher, and then like the and then the army captain or whatever comes over and he's like, I suggest chest massages and mouth to mouth, and then does it to her.
This was pretty misogynistic.
I mean, would you have done anything different?
Oh, buddy.
Just asking a question.
How much you would do?
I don't know.
You'll never know what I would do.
So then, anyways, he gets these missiles, right? And he has this elaborate plan, but then Otis screws up, so then they have to cover for him. Otis is Otis the name of the big dude played by in Princess Bride?
No,
played by Andre the Giant.
That's
what's the character name?
Fezzik, not Fezzik. Fazzini. I love Princess Bride.
His name is. Oh, come on.
Come on.
Fezzik.
Yeah.
Fezzik. You had it. Fezzik.
I had it, yeah.
Yeah. No, okay. I just feel like Otis is like classic big dude name.
Yeah.
But I don't know. What do I know about anything? Nothing. So then, anyways, he deduces that a recently discovered meteorite is Krypton and is radioactive to Superman. Which, I get that he's smart, but this kind of feels like Batman 66 reasoning.
Yeah. It was like, oh, coincidence? I think not.
Anyways, we gotta get through this plot. So anyways, he does the stuff, he reprograms the stuff. So he lures Superman to his underground lair. Superman turns into like a corkscrew and down into the ground. So then, anyways, they're talking, and then again, the villain reveals his plan. Like, when will they learn?
It's such a classic villain move that it's kind of bleak.
Yeah. So anyways, he's going to detonate the San Andreas Fault, so that way, like he knows that Superman can stop his plan, and then he shows him his plan.
And here's the thing. So, like, if Superman was there and right in front of Lex Luthor, don't you think he would grab him and just take him out of the train station? You know? Or, like, his lair?
Yeah.
Like, it's easy as that.
Yeah, but then we wouldn't have a movie.
That's true.
So then anyways, he's going to, like, blow up the San Andreas Fault, so that way, like, California and the West Coast will, like, fall into the ocean, and then all the stuff that he bought will now become the prime real estate, like beachfront stuff. So anyways, but then we learn that Eve Tessmacher's mother lives there, and you kind of start to see a turn. Which I actually really enjoyed her performance and her character in this.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that she actually pulled this off pretty well.
Biggest character arc of any character in any movie.
I wouldn't go that far, but I honestly liked her performance better than Margot Kidder as Lois.
Huh.
And we can talk about like best actor, best actress later with our Oscars, but I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll have to discuss some things. So then, anyways, Luthor then exposes Superman to kryptonite, and he throws him into a pool or whatever. So then, Eve Tessmacher, knowing that her mother lives in Hackensack, goes in and saves him, and Superman's gonna die. And then, anyways, he kisses him, and Superman's like, "Why'd you kiss me?
Why'd you kiss me? I'm infatuated with somebody else."
But yeah.
But I mean, I'm not saying I.
So then the second missile goes to goes to Hackensack, New Jersey, and then So then, anyways, Superman goes and like stops that one. But then there's like a 10 to 15 minute sequence of like all of the stuff is like cracking and whatever.
Yeah.
And then Superman's running around to save everything. And then, like, Jimmy Olsen is there, and he's, like, gonna die, and then Superman saves him. And then, like, kids on the school bus. Like, anyways, like, why is he, like, saving all these people? Like, if you don't save the big thing, hundreds of, like, millions of people are going to die.
Exactly.
If you don't stop the main thing, right? So why don't you just do that in the first place? Like, people are gonna die anyways. Wouldn't you trade, like, 100 people for millions? But Superman doesn't think that way because he's Superman, and he's a
obviously, I mean,
good human. Superman. Unlike me, who thinks logically sometimes. That's logic. But then, anyways, so he's doing this thing, and then Lois is also, like, in a car, and then this gas station explodes behind her. She's like, "Oh, crap!" and starts driving.
Oh, shoot! Oh, Lordy.
What's that character?
I don't even know.
That's something we need to do more of. So then, anyways, she starts getting buried alive, and yeah. Anyways, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back with the end of the plot and our Oscars. So, Lois is being buried alive. What's going to happen? Oh, no, oh, no, oh, no. We'll see you guys in a minute. Goodbye.
Oh.
Okay, oh, no, Lois is being buried. So, she's, like, getting buried alive,
oh, no.
And then Superman goes under the earth and, like, fixes everything somehow. I don't know how you can completely stop an earthquake from, like, that spans the entire width of the United States.
Yeah.
With one beam. Like, this isn't the Plymouth Titanic or whatever. What's that called? The Mayflower.
Hey, history.
Or the Plymouth Titanic, history. Obviously.
Wait a minute. Plymouth Titanic?
Titanic, the Plymouth Titanic.
The Plymouth Titanic, brought to you by McDonald's.
Parent it. Tyrannotops.
Tyrannotops.
If you don't get that reference, watch the first ever movie Trivia Schmodown.
Tyrannotops.
But then anyways, yeah. Anyways, so Lois' car falls into a crevice in one of the aftershocks and traps her with dirt and fills her with debris. And honestly, I feel like Superman should have got there in time, but he doesn't.
Yeah.
And then she dies, which I actually thought was a good move. Mm-hmm. Because if it was just Superman comes in and saves everybody, there's no consequences, everything is just fine.
Yeah.
Then
it wouldn't.
This movie would be not as bad as Batman 66, but near it.
True.
So I like that they killed her off, but I feel like because they knew that they were doing a sequel at this point, right? I feel like they should have left her dead.
Huh.
Also, because this time travel makes no freaking sense.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
how about you go on a rant?
First, there's a nice moment where Clark is like crying over her and gives her a kiss and whatever, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And then he remembers Jor-El's warning about not manipulating human history. And then he instead goes to Jonathan's advice that there must be a reason. So he chooses Jonathan as his father over Jor-El, which is like, okay. So then, Jor-El, he kind of trained you for 12 years, and put you on acid and gave you tights, but whatever. Up to you, man.
That's the way to go.
Yeah. So then anyways, he goes and accelerates around Earth, traveling several minutes backwards in time. First of all, if you spin Earth backwards, it don't time travel. It just screws up the Earth's, atmosphere or whatever, and then we all freaking die.
Yeah.
Second of all, even if that was how time travel worked, which it isn't, DC, it still makes no sense.
Uh-oh.
Because, okay, so you go back in time and I'm never going to save Lois. Oh, you suck, Superman, okay? How... if he goes back in time to before the aftershocks, how are the aftershocks not now happening? He did nothing. It's not like he went back in time and then caught both missiles before they were launched or something. That would have made more sense. That would have been really cool. Stopped him before any of the missiles launched. But no, he goes back in time 2 minutes to right before she was buried, except now she's not being buried. At least go back in time and she's being buried, but then you drag her out, right?
Yeah, I agree.
That makes more sense. Also, if you're saying that they went back in time before, right? Before all that, and the aftershock hadn't happened yet, then what about those missiles? Don't you need to go stop those missiles?
Exactly. It didn't make any sense.
Are there two Supermans? Because there could be two Supermans, right? But no, no, because it goes away because she says that the gas station exploded. And the gas station exploded before he caught the missiles. It makes no sense.
So
this time travel makes no sense. But then anyways, they're all happy and he doesn't deserve to be happy because he just broke the laws of physics. But he's happy and yeah. And then he takes Luthor and Otis to prison and then they're all like, yo, America's cool at the end.
I didn't... Also, this at the end was the only time we saw Lex Luthor without a wig on.
Yeah. Which I feel like Lex Luthor comes back later in these movies because there's 6 movies in this series.
Whoa.
Because it's Superman the movie. This one was in 78. Then there was 1980 Superman 2. Then 1983's Superman 3. Then there was Supergirl in 1985. So Supergirl must be introduced in Superman 2 or 3.
Yeah.
But there was Supergirl in 1985, and then Superman 4, The Quest for Peace in 1987. And then in 2006, they did Superman Returns. So it's a completely different cast. It's Brandon Routh now as Superman. James Marsden's in that movie. Bryan Singer directs. The guy who did the first 2 X-Men movies. And I can't remember who plays Lois Lane in that movie. Anyways, it's supposed to like finish it off. But it's completely different cast. So there's 6 movies in this continuity that we'll be able to watch. And so I don't know if Lex Luthor comes back. I'm pretty sure that Zod is the main villain of the next film, Superman 2, which we'll be watching fairly soon, like within the next 2 or 3 episodes, I believe.
Dang.
But that's it for the plot. So do you want to go ahead and get into our Oscars?
Yes.
Okay. So I think that we should start at the bottom with Best Original Score, right? So we have Star Wars: A New Hope in first, Batman 66 in second. So do we put this above Batman 66? I say yes. The score.
Yes.
Do we put it above A New Hope? This is super close to me, but I say no.
No.
So we're putting this in second place.
Yeah.
This is actually, I really like the score in this movie, but Star Wars: A New Hope I'd put slightly higher. Now we go to Best Original Screenplay. I put this right in between A New Hope and Batman 66 as well.
Okay.
Would you agree as far as screenplay goes?
Yes, I agree.
Okay. So far that's all the same.
Yeah.
So then now we get into the... Well, should we go ahead and do director before we get into the actor ones? Let's go ahead and do director before we get into actor ones.
Okay.
So Richard Donner against Leslie H. Martinson. I say Richard Donner for Superman, the movie, over Batman 66.
Yes. Yep, I agree.
And then again, I put it below George Lucas for Star Wars.
Yes. No. Actually, no. I'm not going to do that.
You think that this is better directed than Star Wars?
Yes.
Okay. So this is the first time we disagree. Go ahead and explain.
Only because there were a few shots and just because of the CGI was great.
Star Wars CGI is even better.
True. I mean...
Plus, the director doesn't deal with CGI.
Yeah. Okay. Then maybe I'll go with A New Hope.
Okay.
Or George Lucas, I say.
I'll give you an actor one. Since you let me have director, I'll give you an actor one if we disagree.
Okay.
But let's start out with Best Supporting Actress. So far we have Lee Merriweather in first for Batman 66 as a Catwoman, and then Shalag Fraser for Aunt Beru for Star Wars. So who would you like to nominate for supporting actress?
Lee Merriweather.
Or no, I'm saying for Superman the movie. Who do you want to nominate for Best Supporting Actress in Superman the movie?
Well,
I think we gotta be between Phyllis Thaxter as Ma Kent and then Valerie Perrine as Eve Teschmacher.
Ooh.
Because I would say Margot Kidder as Lois Lane as a lead.
Yeah. I'd
say Valerie Perrine as
Valerie.
Eve Teschmacher.
Oh. Dang. Yeah. Yeah, I'd say that too.
Was that what you were going to say? Not Phyllis Thaxter as Ma Kent?
Yeah.
Okay. So now, do we think Valerie Perrine is better than Shalag Fraser from Star Wars? I say yes.
Shalag Fraser was Aunt Beru, right?
Yeah. I put Teschmacher and Valerie Perrine over that. So now this is a tough one. Lee Merriweather from Batman 66 or Valerie Perrine as Eve Teschmacher. I would say Valerie Perrine, but if you think differently, I'll let you have this one.
No, I think we can agree on this one.
So do we have a new number one?
Yeah, I think so.
So Lee Merriweather has been dethroned. Valerie Perrine for Superman the movie as Eve Teschmacher is our new number one for Best Supporting Actress. So congratulations, you win nothing. Now we move on to Best Supporting Actor. Who would you like to nominate for Best Supporting Actor? So I think the ones that we can consider are Marlon Brando as Jor-El, Ned Beatty as Otis, Glenn Ford as Pa Kent, and then Terrence Stamp as General Zod. I think those are the main ones that we can. Or Jackie Cooper as Perry White. Because I think the main leads are Superman, Lex Luthor, and Lois.
Yeah,
but
I really liked Lex Luthor. I mean, it was actually kind of funny.
I don't. I would place him as a lead though.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna go. Is Ned Beatty a supporting?
Yeah. So the supporting ones that I have on my list: Marlon Brando as Jor-El, Ned Beatty as Otis, Jackie Cooper as Perry White, Glenn Ford as Pa Kent, and then Terrence Stamp as General Zod.
Ned Beatty.
Ned Beatty as Otis. I don't know. I was that was my original thought. What about Marlon Brando as Jor-El?
I think I'm gonna have to go with the comedic relief
of Ned Beatty as Otis. Okay, I can agree with that.
Yeah.
So now,
but I have to give it to. I mean, Marlon Brando did an amazing job.
Yes.
As Jor-El.
Agreed. Yeah, I do give it to Ned Beatty as Otis. Okay, so now our best supporting actor field is stacked. Do we put him above or below Alan Napier? I say above.
Alan Napier. Oh, right.
As Alfred from Batman 66.
Above.
I agree. So now he goes up against Alec Guinness from Star Wars as Obi-Wan from A New Hope. I say below. No.
I mean, below.
Okay. If you want him above, I'll give it to you.
No, I mean, I think Obi-Wan is more of an iconic role.
Okay.
I'll have to give it. Yeah.
Okay, so Ned Beatty as Otis goes in at number 2?
Yeah.
So now we go to Best Actress, which we only have one entry so far. Carrie Fisher in Star Wars. I think there's only one choice here, and it's Margot Kidder as Lois Lane. She's only the real main lead actress. Because I actually enjoyed Valerie Prin's performance better as Teschmacher, but we listed her as supporting, and she went all the way to number 1. So Margot Kidder against Carrie Fisher. I say Carrie Fisher.
Oh, for sure. Obviously, no competition.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see once we start comparing like Carrie Fisher's different performances in the different films.
Yes.
But for now,
we're watching the original trilogy, right?
We're watching every Star Wars movie.
Let's go even Solo, the one you hate.
You hate Solo? Because I hate the sequel trilogy. I don't mind Solo.
Oh, I thought you said you hate it. Like
Solo, I've only seen it once. I have no desire to watch it again, but I enjoyed it when I saw it.
Interesting.
Like Solo was a Solo Star Wars story I didn't think was necessary. I sat down, I watched it, I enjoyed it. It wasn't that memorable. And if I got to pick any Star Wars movie to watch again, it might be lowest. Even though I actually liked it a lot more than a lot of other Star Wars movies. I don't know, there just isn't a lot of rewatchability there for me.
Yeah, okay.
I feel the same way about the live-action Lion King, which will give me crap for.
Oh, come on. I liked it.
I know. Okay, Best Actor. So we're between Christopher Reeve as Superman and Gene Hackman as Lex Luthor. Who'd you give it to for your nomination?
Here, one thing. I thought Christopher Reeve...
He's an iconic Superman, but I don't know how great he is.
Yeah, that's the thing.
He's super iconic. I give it to Gene Hackman.
I was thinking that too, but I don't know. I mean, I liked Christopher Reeve as Superman, but I feel like he could have done better. He looks the part. He is so Superman, but he just didn't.
He will also have other performances that we can give. I'm saying Gene Hackman.
I'll give that to you. Yeah, let's go Gene Hackman.
Okay. So now the Best Actor category. First up, he goes up against Adam West from Batman 66. I say Gene Hackman.
Yeah, Gene Hackman. I'd have to say Gene Hackman.
Now Gene Hackman goes up against Harrison Ford from Star Wars.
Harrison Ford.
Agreed. So Gene Hackman falls right in the middle. So the only change that we had so far, Superman the movie fell in number 2 on everything, except Best Supporting Actors, where Valerie Perrine as Teschmacher took over the number 1 spot from Lee Merriweather.
Yeah.
So now we go to the moment we've all been waiting for, the Best Picture ranking. So we have to give... I still don't know how you feel about this movie, so we'll each say our scores at the same time, out of 10, and then we'll each give our reasoning, and do like our pros and cons like we used to do. So are you ready to say our scores on 3?
Wait, hold on, wait. I need to decide between 2.
Same, actually. Okay, I have mine. Remember, you can go decimals.
I have mine.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. 6.3.
I gave it a strong 8.
An 8? Wow. Okay. So let me go ahead and get the average of that. But why an 8?
I liked it.
You also don't like decimals, do you? Sorry for cutting you off. But yeah.
Oh, no.
But you don't like decimals.
I just don't think it's been like teetering. You know, I haven't had a movie where I'm like, oh, I mean, I want this to be in the middle of these 2 numbers, you know?
Yeah.
But why I gave it an 8 is because of I thought it had a great script. I mean, some of the dialogue was a little weird and awkward, like
I mean, we still placed the screenplay below A New Hope, but
true. But
I think that it will stay in that number 2 spot for a while.
Yeah, Superman the movie. I really liked Jor-El's monologue. I really, really liked that a lot. I also just liked Superman's costume. Superman's costume was on point.
Like, you really like the costumes and things.
Yeah.
So is that one of your pros?
Yes, Kryptonian's costumes and Superman's costume were like on point. I loved it.
Any other pros?
The score was crazy cool too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, not right, but yeah. Why did I say right?
I know, I agree.
Yeah. But yeah, that's why I gave it an 8.
Okay. Any cons?
The bad flying and the awkwardness between Lois Lane and Superman.
Yeah. Honestly, now hearing that, I'd actually be willing to bump it up to a 6.5.
I thought that was your answer.
I said 6.3 originally.
Oh.
So, okay. Pros of this movie: score is great. The screenplay, I don't think I liked the screenplay as much as you, but I enjoyed it. Just the end of this movie really annoys me.
Yes.
It really gets on my bad side.
That's a con for me.
I didn't enjoy Margot Kidder's performance as Lois Lane.
Yeah.
I thought that she almost just kind of felt like the token female in the film.
Yeah.
I thought that Christopher Reeve, he looks a great Superman, and he plays a pretty good Superman as well. He just seemed kind of stiff.
Yeah, I can see that.
Great things about this movie. I actually really liked the opening Krypton parts and then young Superman. I really enjoyed all of that. Like, I feel like this movie, for me, progressively kind of fades. I think it starts really strong, and it kind of gets worse as they go. I thought that Gene Hackman and Ned Beatty were great.
Yes.
But they were really the only 2 actors that shone for me. As well as Valerie Perrine.
Yeah.
But honestly, the 3 villain characters were the only actors that really shone for me.
Okay.
All the other actors I thought were par. Like, par for the course. Yeah. But yeah, score was great. Again, I loved the opening, and it just kind of faded for me.
True.
But yeah, so that's where we each stand on Superman the movie. So where this ranks, our Teen Stock Movies official rating is a 7.3.
Nice.
So it comes in second place so far. We have Star Wars: A New Hope with a 9.1, Superman the movie with a 7.3, and Batman 66 with a 4.7. Are our ratings. So yeah, Superman the movie. So a 7.3 is what it actually averages out to, and that's actually the IMDb score, a 7.3. We did not plan that. But the IMDb score is a 7.3. So, okay, Atticus is muted. But, yeah, so...
Trevor, can you explain to me why my phone keeps automatically muting me?
I have no clue why that's happening to you, Atticus. Anyways, did you hear what I said about IMDb?
I heard that, yeah.
So, I mean, but yeah, with me, Atticus convinced me to bump my score up to a 6.5 rather than a 6.3. But yeah, me at a 6.5, Atticus at a 8, puts us with an average of 7.25, rounding up puts us at 7.3. So that puts us in second place. So now, Atticus, do you want to know what we're watching next week? You want to tell the listeners what we're watching next week?
You know I do.
We are watching next week. We've been doing one from every year, starting with New Hope. New Hope was 77. Superman the movie was 78. We're going up to 1979 now with Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
I told you.
You called it. Are you excited? Have you ever seen Star Trek, any of the old Star Trek movies?
I believe I saw. I think I saw. No, wait, that was the show. I saw a couple episodes of the show.
Okay, but you've never seen one of the old movies because you've only seen the J.J. Abrams one.
Oh, the J.J. Abrams ones are crazy good. I love them.
So, but you've never seen these old ones. So this is the only Star Trek movie I've ever seen, and I don't really remember it. So yeah, are you excited to watch it though?
My phone did it again. Oh my gosh.
You excited to watch it though?
Maybe
it has a 6.4 on IMDb.
Oh, nice.
So, are you excited to see the first ever Star Trek movie?
Yes, I am very excited.
Okay, so that is going to be episode 4 of the show, guys. You guys will have a week to watch Star Trek: The Motion Picture. Let's see if I can tell you where to watch it. Can I? Maybe I can. Who knows? Probably not. I guess want to do some plugs for Patreon and Instagram.
You know what? Okay, here's the deal. People, I just now put up an Instagram page. It's called Teen Stock Movies.
You haven't posted any of our episodes.
I have not posted any of our episodes because Trevor is not trying for me to. I'm kidding. He has. I'm just lazy. I will get around to that hopefully soon. But you can go check it out on Instagram at Teen Stock Movies.
The Teen Stock Movies podcast, right?
Yeah. Well, the username's Teen Stock Movies, and then because the Teen Stock Movies podcast was already taken, I think.
Yeah.
So I had to shorten it. But yes.
Okay.
Trevor, do you mind doing Patreon? Because I do.
I will. I will just say Star Trek: The Motion Picture. I believe you can find it on CBS All Access and Amazon Prime for free right now. So.
Nice.
This will be the first one that we'll actually be able to watch for free. Well, aside from A New Hope. But, yeah. Okay, so yeah. Patreon, guys. Patreon.com/TeenStockMovies. Our lowest tier is just $2 a month, and you get the show 3 days early on Tuesday. So, guys, please, if you want to it's such a small amount every month, and it would mean the world to us if you were able to donate.
Yes.
And I promise if you give us the $2, it will mean the world, and we won't spin it back around. So,
oh, yeah.
But, yeah, so we would really appreciate we have a $2 tier, $5 tier, $10 tier, and then if you really want to go crazy, there's a $25 tier that nobody will sign up for. But just $2 a month you get the show 3 days early. For $5 a month, you get behind-the-scenes version of the show. For $10 a month, you can get I can't remember. You do get a sticker, Teen Talk Movies laptop sticker, if you stay at the $10 a month tier for 3 months. And you get some else for $10. Oh yeah, you get your name mentioned on the show every week in our special.
Yeah.
Thanks. You can.
We'll take turns singing your name.
Yes, and then at the $25 tier, you can join our $25 tier only Discord server, where it's going to be called Teen Talk Movies Producer, where you can help us make decisions about the show. If you sign up for Patreon at all, though, you get to join our private Discord server for patrons and talk with us and just hang out. So yeah, I think that's really all for Patreon. But guys, it would mean so much for us. You can also send us an email. That's for free if you want at teenstalkmovies@yahoo.com, and we can respond to it on the show if you'd like. You can also send in a voice message that we can play on the show through Anchor FM or through the Anchor app. But Atticus, anything you want to close us out with?
Plugs.
You don't want to say anything funny?
I'll say funniness comes after the punchline.
Well, that was the thing. So guys, thank you so much for listening to the show. Next week, again, remember we were watching Star Trek: The Motion Picture. We'd really appreciate it if you guys watch it along with us, because it makes it more fun for everybody. So we will see you guys next week.
And thanks for enduring our comedy.
If you can call it comedy. See you guys next week. Goodbye. Stay safe. See you guys next week.
Goodbye.